Alright, so here's just a quick look at the current engine I'm building. I'm trying to make the next version of Street Fighter Scratch Edition. Um, but pretty much, mostly what I've done so far is I've been working on this, which pretty much just lets me edit characters. So I can have as many characters as I want. Right now it's only 2 characters. And then I can show this list. So this list shows pretty much all the data stored for the characters' animations. And then right here is going to be their like move frame data. So it's if it happens to be an attack or something, it'll have the save code here, which will load, and then just tell them what frames it'll attack on and what frames it, uh, it would be invincible or something like that. Um, and then what's cool is I can switch between these. I think right now they're pretty much the same, except for um, this one has displacement and an extra frame, uh, whereas this one does not. Um, but what's cool is I can also so I can pretty much edit this right here. And so if I wanted to add something new, I would just put the name of the animation, how many frames there are in the animation, and then the move save code later. That'll be different. It'll be another thing entirely. And then displacement on the X and the Y axis. So these can all stay bitmaps, which will save a bunch of storage. I'll do that for pretty much everything except for anything that requires like jumping, because then that's different for every frame, and then I'll just kind of go in and manually edit it. Um, so if I wanted to add something new, which I can do right now, well, actually, I might have to reset it, just because for some reason you can't edit lists in full screen mode. So, for example, for Ryu, if I wanted to add I don't know, like this crouch, I could just put that in there, and then how many frames it is. So that's I don't know. Oh, if I were to add the crouch, it would be like I would go in here, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 frames. So it'd be 12 frames, and then for now I'll just put in 0, 0 for the displacement, and then uh, basically how it knows which costume to switch it to is you put in the player number. So this is the costume for player 1, and then the name of the animation, which is crouch, and then the character name. So Ryu. And then that's pretty much how you'd import it. And then you'd save this list. So you'd go to save the character slot, and then you'd load. And then if you go down here, you see you can switch it to walk backwards. And now you can switch it to crouch. Um, all of these are kind of out of order right now. But that just kind of happens whenever you import a GIF to Scratch. So it's just kind of guaranteed to happen. Uh, yeah, boom. Whole other animation just added in like seconds. And then you can also toggle the base. So see how this needs a displacement. So his feet are actually higher than they should be, compared to like his idle animation. And it's also super easy to edit this because you can just go. This would be edit Y, so it'd be -5 ish. I'll try that out. Well, I'll save the character slot and then load. I think it might actually be too high. Set it to -3 instead. Do save and load, and then boom, you have displacement. It's also still off. I think it's -2. Yeah, there it is, right there. Yeah. So this is my current engine that I'm working on. This will make it so much easier to add stuff. Like you saw how that took a total of 8 seconds. I mean, maybe a little more than that. Plus, I can go in and look at the frames individually, so I can see that, you know, frame 10 and 11 are swapped or something like that. And then once I add hitboxes and stuff like that, I can be like, I can also just simulate the hitboxes in here and just be like, be able to manually place them. So I'll probably have like another button somewhere that lets me manually edit the, what do you call it? The hitboxes and then the frame data and stuff like that. You can save it to moves and stuff. So it'll be actually really cool. Yeah, that's kind of all I have to show right now. Dev mode doesn't do anything. Game just lets you select the characters and then start, and then you can't really do anything from here. But the important part is this thing, because I can create so much data. And what's also super cool about this is that there are actually 0 clones in this whole game. So both of them are Ryu, and take a look at this. So I have the add-on that shows me if a clone is out, so I can create a clone of myself anyway. Only one clone, and all that is thanks to this system that I built, and which kind of means that I could theoretically put like billions of players in here, and it wouldn't even matter. Um, and what's even crazier is that I can set this to, I think the max is 240. Yeah, 240. I can set the FPS to as high as I want, and even though uh, loops like this are running just to gather all their player data every single frame, boom, we're still getting 240. So that's pretty cool. Oh, I think it actually goes up to 250. Yeah, I think it should just jump right up. Yep. And what's even cooler is that Turbo Warp does make things faster, but that only happens if you have this uh, unchecked. And so this is running perfectly in pretty much unmodified Scratch. So I can upload this to Scratch right now and it have the exact same performance. So yeah, it's something to look forward to at least. And the next version should have at least 2 characters. My plan is to have probably Ryu, Ken, or Ryu, Deadly, and Ken. Either that or Alex, just so that they're different characters, or just more different. But I will try to replicate all the stuff that you could do as Ryu in 1.0. So this will just be a new engine that runs smoother and won't have any of those bugs, which I think most of them were visual. There was one bug where you could it would pretty much just make you like inactionable if you got up and tried to do I think it's if you get knocked down and then like you mash the overhand and then get hit during the overhand. I think that specifically causes this bug where you just like can't throw out the attacks. And sometimes if you get hit it like bugs out. But this one shouldn't have anything because it's running on a state machine. So there are no overlapping loops or nothing. So it'll be pretty cool. Yeah, that's about it.